Hello, it's Vanessa McLean of the Life Transformation Lounge.
And hi, it's Paul McKenzie of the Life Transformation Lounge.
And today we're going to be talking about the power of focus and how you, when you focus, can get all the results that you want from your life.
Absolutely, and focus is so essential to things like achieving goals in your life and moving to the next level of your life.
It's so easy to become distracted. And if you're like me, it's so easy to start a project and the phone rings, the computer goes, something happens to distract you from the purpose.
So that distraction today we're going to call drifting. If you're a drifter, if you can identify with exactly what we're talking about here, you're a person that sets a goal only to move away from your goal and lose focus, then perhaps you are drifting.
So what is focus? I call focus forging on consistently until success. Not until I get interrupted, until success.
Until success. And so many of you out there listening have set goals and you know where you want to get to in your life and you've got outcomes set and something stops you from getting there. And that's focus, isn't it? And as well, when we focus on our goals, the chances of achieving those goals are, what would you say, 100% almost? Even if it's the goal that you achieve that doesn't turn out the way you want it, it's still the feedback you want. So you need that feedback, and that feedback is attainable through focus.
I remember many years ago, I was focusing on how to become a speaker. And I saw someone who is one of the world's leading motivational speakers. And I saw the qualities. I saw how whatever he did affected people. And I wanted to learn from this person. And I set my focus that I am going to find that man and have him to coach me. You've got to be persistent in your desire, in your dream, for whatever it is that you want for that transformation in your life. And I knew if I focused, aligned myself with the right people, I will get the opportunity to meet the very man who has now become my coach and my mentor. So whatever you do, keep focused, keep your eye on the prize, because when you do, the results, they will speak for themselves. People show up out of the blue, Paul, and we were speaking about this yesterday. Let's talk about that. How when you focus, people show up and your life gets transformed.
Well, that's the crazy thing about focus is once you start to focus, it's almost like knocking a door, isn't it? And you focus on that knock so hard, the door has no option but to open. So when you focus in life, you start to realize that different things start to happen. One of the things, though, Vanessa, that stops people focus is their environment. And so if you're in an environment that doesn't support your goals, you find that losing focus is quite easily. You can lose focus on any goal at any time because you're listening to external factors as opposed to listening to the voice that's inside you, the greatness inside you that should be telling you and guiding you towards your goal. So for me, focus has always been an issue in the sense that I've had many goals and I've had many goals that I've failed at. And I've recently realized through focus that the goals that I weren't achieving or the things that were stopping me in my life was the way I focused on my outcomes. So by focusing on fewer outcomes, you're able to achieve much more.
I have an exercise that I normally do, and I've done this on videos a few times, but I'm going to ask you to add this to the regime that you have on a day-to-day basis. Find a spot on the wall or find an object, and for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, look at the object. Do not take your eye off that. Just focus on that. And when you think about this focusing, think about life. How many times do you sit down, I'm just about to write something, then you go online, then the phone, you get distracted.
Absolutely.
Do this exercise at least for a week where you're just focusing on one spot, on one thing, and then see how you start to filter everything out. Because that's what our lives are like. Filled with distractions. Do you want to be successful? What is it that you want from life? You've got to focus on it until that becomes the main thing. Make the main thing the main thing.
And start to focus in on what you want from your life. Too many of us focus on what we don't want. Every time a bill comes through the door, we focus on poverty. That's one of the biggest killers, and that's one of the areas that most people drift in, is that when they receive something that they're not expecting, like a bill, which you should expect because they're always going to come, they tend to drift off of their goals and their focus and start thinking about lack. And once you start focusing on lack, what do you get? Lack. And so today, I guess the message is to start focusing on the things you want in your life and start to, move the things that you don't want to happen in your life, move them out of focus. It's a bit like a camera lens, isn't it? You focus on the image that you want and defocus the stuff in your life you no longer need.
And those things you no longer need, bin them. It's not a part of your life. It used to be a part of who you were. But just remember, as you're focusing on your new outcome, you're focusing on a new person. Who are you becoming as you go through this exercise, as you go through forging on consistently until success?
Until you reach that successful point in your life. And there's no better feeling than having achieved a goal. I'll tell you, the worst thing for me was writing a goal and realizing that the time that I had set aside to achieve that goal had lapsed by a number of years. And so I found myself looking back at this goal thinking, where did I go wrong with this goal? And it was all down to focus. And one of the great things we spoke about was having too many different focuses. And I found I had focused, I wanted to become a successful businessman. I also wanted to become a successful family man. I also wanted to have perfect health. So many different areas I could talk about that I wanted to focus on. And each one of these areas tied into one single focus. And in fact, it turned out by focusing on my health, I was able to get the right mindset that was going to lead me towards financial wealth, family goals, all sorts of different goals in my life I could achieve through focusing on one particular goal. I thought it was amazing.
You heard what Paul said. Focus on one thing. How you do anything, T. Harv Eckhart said, is how you do everything. Focus on one thing at a time. This is the Life Transformation Lounge. We're going to be back with more.